The unexpected diplomat. Captain Zara Novak stood at the helm of the Earthship Curiosity, her eyes fixed on the looming space station that housed the Galactic Council. The massive structure gleamed like a jewel against the backdrop of unfamiliar stars, its crystalline spires reflecting the light of a distant sun. Zara's hands tightened on the control panel, her knuckles white with tension. Earthship Curiosity, you are cleared for docking. A melodious voice chimed through the ship's speakers. The alien's words were translated seamlessly by the advanced linguistic software, a gift from the Galactic Council during Earth's first contact 50 years ago. Zara nodded to her pilot, a stocky woman named Yvette. Take us in, nice and easy. Let's not give them any reason to think we're a threat. As the Curiosity glided towards its designated docking port, Zara couldn't help but marvel at the diversity of ships surrounding them. Vessels of all shapes and sizes hovered nearby, some organic and undulating, others geometric and stark. Each represented a different species, a different world, all gathered here to decide the fate of humanity. Earth's admission into the Galactic Council hung by a thread. Years of misunderstandings, cultural faux pas, and the lingering stigma of being a Deathworld species had left humanity's reputation in tatters. This summit was their last chance to prove they belonged among the stars. As the airlock hissed open, Zara straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. She wasn't a diplomat, far from it. Her role was simply to transport Earth's representative, Ambassador Chen, to the council chambers. But as she stepped onto the station, a commotion near the docking bay entrance caught her attention. A cluster of aliens surrounded a prone figure on the floor. With a jolt of recognition, Zara realized it was Ambassador Chen. She rushed forward, pushing through the crowd of concerned extraterrestrials. "What happened?" she demanded, kneeling beside the unconscious diplomat. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin stepped forward. "The Earth being exited your vessel and immediately lost consciousness. Our medical team is on the way." Zara's mind raced. Chen had seemed fine during the journey, if a bit nervous. Could it be some sort of alien bacteria? An allergic reaction to the station's atmosphere? Before she could voice her concerns, a group of beings in shimmering robes approached. "The council is assembled and waiting," one announced. "Where is the Earth representative?" Zara looked from the unconscious Chen to the expectant council members, realizing with growing horror the magnitude of the situation. Earth's carefully prepared speeches, meticulously researched proposals, all of it was locked away in Chen's mind or secure data pads. In that moment, Zara made a decision that would alter the course of human history. She stood, brushing off her uniform, and faced the council members. "I am Captain Zara Novak of Earth," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "I will represent my planet in these negotiations." A ripple of surprise passed through the assembled aliens. The willowy being who had spoken earlier tilted its head curiously. "You are not the designated diplomat." Zara squared her shoulders. "Plans change. The safety of my crew member takes priority, but Earth's voice will be heard today. I'm prepared to stand in for Ambassador Chen." There was a moment of quiet deliberation among the council members. Finally, the one in the center nodded. "Very well. Follow us, Earth Captain. The fate of your species awaits." As Zara fell into step behind the gliding aliens, her mind whirled with a mix of panic and determination. She had no training in diplomacy, no prepared statements, no intricate knowledge of galactic politics. But she did have something that had served humanity well since they first looked up at the stars: adaptability. The council chambers were a marvel of alien architecture. The ceilings soared so high it disappeared into mist, and the walls seemed to shimmer with barely contained energy. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the tiered seating, their murmurs creating a symphony of alien languages. Zara was led to a podium at the center of the chamber. She could feel the weight of countless eyes upon her, some curious, others skeptical, a few openly hostile. A being that seemed to be made entirely of swirling gas materialized before her. "Earth Captain," it intoned, its voice resonating through the chamber. You stand before the Galactic Council to plead your case for humanity's inclusion. Be warned, your words here will determine whether your species joins our ranks or remains isolated in your solar system for another millennium. Proceed. Zara's mouth went dry. The carefully crafted speeches Shen had prepared were useless now. She would have to rely on her own experiences, her own understanding of what made humanity unique. Esteemed members of the council, she began, her voice gaining strength with each word. I stand before you not as a polished diplomat, but as a simple starship captain. And perhaps that's fitting, because at our core, that's what humanity is, explorers, venturers into the unknown. She gestured to the diverse assembly. I look around this chamber and see wonders beyond imagining. But I also see something familiar in each of you, a spark of curiosity, a desire to understand the universe and our place in it. That same spark drove humanity to reach for the stars long before we knew what awaited us there. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Zara pressed on, drawing from her own experiences as a captain. We've made mistakes in our interactions with the galactic community, I won't deny that. Our world's harsh conditions have made us resilient, sometimes to the point of stubbornness. But that same resilience drives us to overcome challenges, to find solutions where others see only problems. She thought of her diverse crew aboard the Curiosity, how they worked together despite their differences. Humanity's strength lies in our diversity, in our ability to adapt and collaborate. We don't just survive on our death world, we thrive. And we're eager to bring that spirit of innovation and perseverance to the galactic stage. As Zara spoke, she noticed a change in the atmosphere of the chamber. The initial skepticism was giving way to curiosity. Even the more hostile delegates seemed to be listening intently. We don't ask for special treatment or concessions, Zara continued. We ask for the opportunity to prove ourselves, to learn from the wealth of knowledge and experience gathered here. In return, we offer our unique perspective, our determination, and our unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of what's possible. She took a deep breath, realizing she was coming to the end of her impromptu speech. Distinguished members of the council, I ask you to look beyond our rocky start and see the potential of what humanity can bring to this assembly. We may be young in the cosmic scale, but we are eager to learn, to grow, and to contribute to the greater galactic community. As Zara fell silent, the chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices. Some were clearly agitated, others seemed excited. The gaseous being presiding over the proceedings raised an appendage, and silence fell once more. Earth Captain, it said, your words are unconventional, yet they have sparked considerable debate among the council. We require time to deliberate on this matter. You will be summoned when a decision is reached. With that, Zara was ushered out of the chamber. As the doors closed behind her, she leaned against the wall, her heart pounding. Had she just ruined Earth's chances, or had her unorthodox approach opened new possibilities? A gentle touch on her arm startled her. It was the willowy being from earlier. Earth Captain, it said, its voice tinged with what sounded like amusement. I am HFY, liaison to the council. Your speech was most illuminating. Zara managed a weak smile. I hope that's a good thing. HFY's skin shimmered with patterns that Zara guessed might be their equivalent of laughter. It is certainly unprecedented. Many species find humans confusing, even alarming. But you have given them something new to consider. Before Zara could respond, a commotion down the corridor caught their attention. Ambassador Chen, looking groggy but alert, was being escorted by a medical team. His eyes widened as he saw Zara. Captain Novak, what's going on? The last thing I remember is stepping off this ship. Zara exchanged a glance with HFY, then turned to Chen with a grimace. Ambassador, you might want to sit down for this. It's been an interesting few hours. As Zara began to explain the situation to an increasingly pale-faced Chen, she couldn't help but wonder what the council was discussing behind those imposing doors. One thing was certain, For better or worse, humanity's fate in the galaxy now rested on the words of a starship captain who had never imagined she'd be playing the role of a diplomat. The future, as always when it came to humanity, remained unpredictable. But as Zara glanced out a nearby viewport at the glittering expanse of space, she felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps their very unpredictability was exactly what the galaxy needed. The Cosmic Culinary Challenge. As Zara finished recounting the events to Ambassador Chen, the diplomat's face cycled through a range of emotions: shock, disbelief, and finally, a resigned sort of admiration. "I can't believe you addressed the Galactic Council," Chen said, shaking his head. "That's either the bravest or the most foolish thing I've ever heard." Before Zara could respond, a melodic chime echoed through the corridor. Xylthar's iridescent skin pulsed with light. "The Council has reached a decision," the alien announced. "They request your presence, Earth beings." Zara and Chen exchanged nervous glances. As they followed Xylthar back to the Council chambers, Zara couldn't help but notice the increased activity around them. Aliens of all descriptions hurried through the corridors, their voices a mix of excitement and concern. The chamber doors swung open, revealing the assembled council. The gaseous being that had presided over the earlier session materialized before them. "Earth beings," it intoned, its voice reverberating through the room. "We have deliberated on your unique presentation. While your unorthodox approach has intrigued many, concerns remain about humanity's readiness to join our ranks." Zara's heart sank, but the being continued. "However, we are not without mercy. The Council proposes a challenge, a final test to prove humanity's worth and ability to adapt to galactic society." Chen stepped forward, his diplomatic training kicking in. "We accept your challenge, honored Council. What task would you have us perform?" The gaseous being swirled, patterns of light dancing through its form. "You spoke of humanity's adaptability and desire to understand others, Earth Captain," it said, addressing Zara directly. "We propose a test of these qualities. You will organize and host an intergalactic cultural exchange in the form of a culinary competition." Murmurs of surprise rippled through the chamber. Zara blinked, certain she had misheard. "A cooking contest." "Precisely," her being confirmed. "Food is a universal language, a window into the soul of a species. Your task is to create dishes that not only showcase Earth's culinary traditions, but also incorporate elements from other galactic cuisines. Additionally, you must facilitate cooperation between different species in creating fusion dishes that bridge cultural divides." Chen looked positively green at the prospect, but Zara felt a spark of excitement. This was unexpected, certainly, but it played to human strengths, creativity, adaptability, and their long history of blending culinary traditions. "We accept," Zara said firmly, ignoring Chen's startled look. "How long do we have to prepare?" 3 Earth days, the being replied. "Representatives from various species will be made available to assist and participate. The competition will be held here, on the central station, and judged by a panel of council members." As they were dismissed from the chamber, Chen turned to Zara with a mix of panic and awe. "Captain, do you have any idea what you've just agreed to? We're not chefs, we're diplomats and space explorers." Zara grinned, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Maybe that's exactly why we're perfect for this, Ambassador. We're used to working with limited resources, adapting to new situations. Plus, every human I know has strong opinions about food. We can do this." Over the next 3 days, the station became a hive of activity. Word of the unusual challenge spread quickly, and soon aliens from across the galaxy were clamoring to participate or observe. Zara and her team worked tirelessly, converting unused storage bays into makeshift kitchens and gathering ingredients from a mind-boggling array of worlds. The human crew quickly discovered that their challenge wasn't just about cooking. It was a crash course in xenobiology, chemistry, and diplomacy. What was a delicacy to one species could be deadly poison to another. Cultural taboos around food preparation had to be navigated carefully to avoid interstellar incidents. Zara found herself in the thick of it all, mediating disputes between species with wildly different culinary philosophies. She broke up a near-brawl between a silicon-based life form and a creature composed entirely of sentient gas over the proper way to prepare a dish of crystallized starlight. As the day of the competition dawned, the station hummed with anticipation. The converted cargo bay was a riot of colors, smells, and sounds. Cooking stations were arranged in a giant circle, each staffed by mixed teams of humans and aliens. Zara stood at the center, flanked by Chen and Asilthar, who had taken on the role of translator and cultural advisor. She raised her hands, and a hush fell over the assembled competitors and spectators. "Welcome, beings of the galaxy, to Earth's first intergalactic culinary exchange," she announced, her words echoing in 100 different languages. "Today, we come together not as diplomats or warriors, but as cooks and food lovers. Our challenge is to create dishes that celebrate our differences while finding common ground. May the best flavors win." With that, the competition began. The air filled with the sizzle of pans, the whoosh of alien cooking apparatus, and the mingling aromas of 1,000 worlds' cuisines. Zara moved from station to station, marveling at the creativity on display. At one, a team of humans and amorphous blob-like aliens were collaborating on a dish that combined Earth barbecue techniques with the blob being's ability to infuse flavors at a molecular level. The result was a swirling, color-changing mass that smelled tantalizingly of smoky mesquite and exotic alien spices. Another station had taken on the challenge of creating a universally edible dish. The team, led by the Curiosity's engineer and a crystalline being from a methane world, had somehow devised a dish that could be safely consumed by carbon, silicon, and even energy-based life forms. Zara wasn't entirely sure how it worked, but the satisfied hums and glows from the varied beings tasting it seemed promising. Not everything went smoothly, of course. A well-meaning human chef accidentally created a small singularity while trying to replicate a Centaurian delicacy, requiring quick intervention from the station's safety team. And there was a tense moment when a telepathic species misunderstood the concept of brain food and had to be gently dissuaded from their original recipe plans. As the competition neared its climax, Zara found herself drawn to a station where things seemed to be going particularly wrong. A human botanist named Dr. Elias was working with a plant-based intelligence called a Florax, but they appeared to be at an impasse. "Is everything all right here?" Zara asked, approaching cautiously. Dr. Elias looked up, frustration clear on his face. "Captain, we're trying to create a dish that represents a cycle of growth and renewal, but we can't agree on the execution. I want to use fruits and vegetables to symbolize the harvesting of mature plants, but Zhenba here insists that's barbaric." The Florax, a mass of vibrant vines and delicate flowers, rustled agitatedly. Through a nearby translator, Zhenba's thoughts emerged. To consume the reproductive organs of plants is a violation of the natural order. We must find another way to represent the cycle. Zara considered for a moment, then smiled as an idea struck her. "What if," she suggested, "instead of using harvested plants, you create a living dish? Something that continues to grow even as it's consumed." Both the human and the Florax paused, intrigued. Dr. Elias' eyes lit up. "Like a mixed salad of fast-growing sprouts and microgreens. We could have the diners plant the seeds themselves." Zhenba's flowers bloomed with excitement. "Yes, and I could infuse the growing medium with nutrients and flavors that evolve as the plants mature. A dish that is truly alive." As Zara left them to their renewed collaboration, she couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. This was what humanity did best, finding creative solutions, bridging divides, turning conflicts into opportunities for growth. The final hours of the competition flew by in a blur of activity. As the deadline approached, Zara watched teams putting the finishing touches on their creations. The air was thick with anticipation and the mingled aromas of 100 worlds. Finally, A resonant tone signaled the end of cooking time. The judges, a panel of council members representing diverse species, began to make their rounds. Zara held her breath as they sampled each dish, their reactions inscrutable to human eyes. As the judges deliberated, Zara gathered with Chen and her crew. "Whatever happens," she told them, "I'm proud of what we've accomplished here. We've shown the galaxy the best of what humanity has to offer, our creativity, our adaptability, and our ability to bring people together." Chen nodded, a newfound respect in his eyes. "I never thought I'd say this, Captain, but your unorthodox approach might have just saved Earth's bid for galactic membership." Before Zara could respond, a hush fell over the crowd. The gaseous being that had presided over the council materialized at the center of the room, its swerving form glowing with an inner light. "Beings of Earth and the greater galaxy," it intoned, "we have reached a decision." Zara straightened, her heart pounding. The fate of humanity's place in the cosmos hung in the balance, all resting on the outcome of the most unusual cooking competition in history. As the being prepared to announce the results, Zara found herself holding her breath, along with every human and alien in the vast chamber. A feast for peace. The gaseous being's form pulsed with vibrant colors as it addressed the assembled crowd. "This competition has been unlike any challenge in the history of the Galactic Council," it began. "We have witnessed creativity, cooperation, and cultural exchange on a scale that surpasses our expectations." Zara felt a flicker of hope at these words, but she knew better than to celebrate prematurely. Beside her, Ambassador Chen was practically vibrating with tension. "The dishes presented today have not merely been sustenance," the being continued. "They have been stories, tales of worlds colliding, of barriers overcome, of understanding reached across vast gulfs of biology and culture." The being paused, its swirling form expanding to encompass the entire judging panel. "We have deliberated extensively, and we have come to a conclusion that we believe honors the spirit of this unique event." Zara held her breath. This was it, the moment that would decide humanity's fate in the galactic community. "There will be no single winner declared today," the being announced. A ripple of surprise passed through the crowd. Zara blinked, unsure if she had heard correctly. Instead, the being continued, "We recognize that the true victory here lies not in any individual dish, but in the connections forged and the boundaries crossed in their creation. Every team that participated has contributed to a greater understanding between species. This, we believe, is the essence of what the Galactic Council strives for." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien sounds, cheers, trills, and resonances that Zara's translator struggled to keep up with. She turned to Chen, a grin spreading across her face. I think this might be good news." Chen nodded, a look of stunned relief on his face. "It's better than we could have hoped for. They're seeing beyond the competition itself to what it represents." The gaseous being raised an appendage, quieting the crowd. "However, we would be remiss not to acknowledge some particularly noteworthy achievements. The living salad created by the human Florax team exemplifies the kind of innovative thinking and cross-species cooperation we hope to see more of in the future." Zara spotted Dr. Elias and Zhen Ba near the front of the crowd, the human and the plant being practically glowing with pride. Additionally, the being continued, "The universally edible dish developed by the human crystallite team represents a breakthrough in xenogastronomy that could have far-reaching implications for intergalactic diplomacy and trade." More cheers erupted, and Zara saw her ship's engineer being enthusiastically congratulated by beings of various species. But perhaps most importantly, the being said, its voice taking on a more serious tone, "This event has demonstrated humanity's capacity for adaptation, creativity, and bridge building. These are qualities highly valued by the Galactic Council." The chamber fell silent as the implications of these words sank in. Zara felt her heart racing. Therefore, the being announced, "It is the decision of this council that humanity has proven itself worthy of full membership in the galactic community." The response was immediate and overwhelming. The human delegation erupted in cheers, while alien spectators added their own celebratory sounds to the cacophony. Zara found herself being hugged by Chen, then lifted off her feet by her exuberant crew members. As the initial wave of celebration began to subside, Axilthar approached, its iridescent skin shimmering with what Zara had come to recognize as amusement. "Congratulations, Earth Captain," the alien said. "It seems your unorthodox approach has paid off." Zara grinned. "I guess sometimes you need to think outside the box, or outside the kitchen, in this case." Axilthar's skin rippled in what might have been laughter. "Indeed. The Council is most impressed with how you turned a potential diplomatic disaster into an opportunity for galactic unity. There is talk of making this culinary exchange a regular event." As Zara processed this information, she noticed a commotion near the center of the room. The gaseous being was reforming, apparently with one final announcement to make. "Beings of the galaxy," it intoned, "while this competition has come to an end, the spirit of cooperation it has fostered must not. Therefore, we invite you all to participate in a grand feast, featuring dishes from all who competed today. Let this be the first of many such gatherings, where we come together not as separate species, but as fellow inhabitants of this vast and wondrous cosmos." The announcement was met with enthusiastic approval. Soon, the competition area was being transformed into an enormous banquet hall. Beings of all shapes and sizes mingled freely, sampling dishes and engaging in animated conversations with species they might never have interacted with before. Zara found herself at the center of it all, fielding questions about Earth cuisine and human culture from curious aliens. She watched with pride as her crew members confidently explained their dishes to interested beings, even as they bravely sampled some truly alien concoctions. As the festivities continued, Ambassador Chen sidled up to Zara, a bemused expression on his face. "You know, Captain," he said, "when I was preparing for this mission, I had speeches ready about Earth's scientific achievements, our cultural contributions, our commitment to peace. Never in a million years did I imagine our ticket to the galactic stage would be a cooking competition." Zara laughed. "I guess it just goes to show that you can never predict where you'll find common ground. Sometimes it's in the last place you'd expect, like the bottom of a cooking pot." As the feast went on, Zara couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at what they had accomplished. In just a few short days, they had not only secured humanity's place in the galactic community, but had also fostered connections and understanding between countless species. She watched as a group of humans taught some amorphous blob beings how to roast marshmallows, while nearby, a silicon-based life form was excitedly explaining the finer points of crystal cuisine to a fascinated human chef. Everywhere she looked, barriers were coming down, replaced by curiosity and genuine interest. As the event began to wind down, Zara found a quiet moment to slip away to a viewport. She gazed out at the star-strewn expanse, marveling at how much had changed in such a short time. Humanity had taken its first real steps into the galactic community, and the universe suddenly seemed both vastly larger and infinitely more connected. A gentle touch on her shoulder startled her from her reverie. It was Axilthar, the alien's iridescent skin glowing softly in the starlight. "Your thoughts, Earth Captain?" the alien asked. Zara smiled. "I'm just thinking about how unexpected this all is. We came here hoping to prove ourselves worthy of joining the galactic community. Instead, we ended up hosting a dinner party for the cosmos." Axilthar's skin rippled in what Zara now recognized as amusement. "Perhaps that is precisely why you have succeeded. Many species seek to join our ranks by showcasing their weapons, their technology, their power. You humans, you offered food, fellowship, and a willingness to learn. These are rare and valuable traits in this vast universe." Zara nodded, touched by the alien's words. "So what happens now?" she asked. "Now," Axilthar said, gesturing back towards the bustling feast, "you continue doing what you have started here. You learn, you adapt, you build bridges. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders, Earth Captain, and now it is open to you." As they rejoined the celebration, Zara felt a surge of excitement for the future. Humanity had found its place among the stars not through force or fear, but through the universal language of food and the power of shared experience. The cosmic culinary challenge had been just the beginning. As Zara watched humans and aliens alike sharing meals and stories, she knew that the real adventure, the exploration of a galaxy full of new tastes, new ideas, and new friendships, was only just beginning. And as the festivities continued late into the night, the stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter, welcoming humanity to its new home among them.